dude, big day.
Yeah, it's nice to have her back. Looks the same. A little rusty in some spots. That's Ireland for you. Just raining and wet all the time. We got our nice, freshly blown up engine. You know, I hate to say it, but we would have actually had to pull it regardless of it blowing because the rear main seal was leaking. But we thought it was all of our dry sump fittings, so we just I remember going over those a bunch of times. But that was all the way back in Spain, almost a year ago. Crazy. But the last thing that we did with this was after the hit in Poland, Joel, myself, and the boys fixed up this front corner where we hit Kevin. But I mean, the damage was minimal. We just, we hit a fitting on the oil. We fixed that as well. So basically this baby, after a full teardown and redo, this thing will be actually ready for competition. We're gonna clean her all up. Still looks nasty even with all the broken stuff on it. Good to have her home.
Oh, you're in there.
Oh man, she's strapped in here good.
Probably gonna need
Thanks Wayne, great job. Wow, very nice.
Catch still. Dude, that was smooth.
Yeah, it was healthy and safe as well.
That's full of nitrous bottles.
It's fine.
You gonna hold on to her while she comes down? Sure. If that falls, we're all gonna just explode.
Yeah, I need that balance.
All right, guys, so we got the car back. The last place that it was in Poland. There's definitely a lot of stories that you can tell walking around it. This is actually a Tupperware lid that we painted. This was in Hungary. Maurice did that. This, Eli drew in these flames. This is a snorkel that we made for the cool suit so that it actually continued to work. The bumper is not really a bumper anymore, as you can see. The inside and the one side, like we said, the one side of the car, because all the walls in Drift Masters are the passenger side, which really serves well for right-hand drive cars, but not for left-hand drive cars. So this side is actually front to back, pretty mint, honestly. Fender, door, rear. It looks like a new car on this side. And when you come around, you just start to see it get worse and worse as you start to see the carnage on this side, and then basically this whole side was a write-off. But structurally and everything else, the car is good to go. We're gonna do some electrical changes. We're probably gonna build some sort of a frame to strut brace so that when the chassis, or if you do get into an impact of some kind, it's going to crumple in a different spot, preferably in front of the suspension pickup points. Whereas currently the Corvettes really like to crumple right there is where they like to buckle there. So we'd prefer to move that up to here. This is the original engine that blew up in Spain. I believe this just comes off and you can see the valve drop in that far one there. Yeah. And then you can see the valve here. No particular reason for that, but the engine was leaking at its main seal anyways, so we would have had to pull it regardless. But we're gonna get to the bottom of that. And then this block, fortunately, is still good. It's probably gonna need to be honed and bored over. But the block itself, it is a dart block. It's got a crazy crank, so all that stuff is really stout. We will be able to build this engine into a spare for this car. Other than that, I mean, this car just needs a refresh and it's ready to go. It basically ended in pull and working great. As far as suspension tuning and everything went, we had it at the best it's ever been, pretty much right up to that round. So as far as that goes, we're probably gonna leave most of that. Just check Heim joints, replace spares, and we're gonna pull the tranny. We're gonna do some servicing on that. We're actually gonna open up the tunnel and mimic a lot of the things that we did to this chassis, because all the stuff that we learned from building this car and using it, we applied to here. So we're gonna mimic now what's on here back to that car. And through this process, this is how we're gonna arrive at eventually the perfect chassis car, and every step of the way is done perfect. But in the meantime, we got a bunch of stuff to get ready and continue to do. So it's actually gonna be sitting for a decent amount of time in the corner, because we gotta get James Dunn's car done first. Then we're gonna go full steam on this. We're getting the BRZ stuff done. We're designing a ton of products for that car. Me, Patrick, Joel, we're going at it. We're installing them so quickly with Joel here. He's just a weapon. I'm sure you guys are gonna pick up on that on the channel as you start seeing him more. But this is 15 years of day-to-day, every single day wrenching. So he's honestly seen it all, done it all. And from my perspective, I've done a lot of design parts and seen them come into fruition. So I have a vast understanding of virtual to reality and every trick of the trade that you need to think of when you're designing something, but he has all the practical experience of putting things onto cars. So really, collectively, it's going to be probably the best team. Just putting the dual caliber bracket on, little details that he's focusing on perfecting to make sure that it is perfect. And it's really great to have a red seal. Red seal mechanic in Canada is the highest level of certification that you can get. That is what he is. So basically, he's licensed to do anything on anything. He's got all the training, he's got the experience. So it's been really great having him here just for the last couple weeks. And that's pretty much it. Update for this car. It's great to have it back. It's really surreal to see it, having seen it only arriving. And I got to admit, the worst thing about the entire season was the lack of driving between rounds, and then arriving and driving with little to no seat time other than on a sim. We're going to change that, and we're going to focus and put our money into ourselves, into the community here in Canada, and then also into North America, and focus on that, because there's a lot to do here. There's a lot to build up, and we've got DMCC to participate in. With all these things going on all around the world, everyone's kind of honing in on where they live and what they live for, and we're Canadian, so really the only option for us to build towards is to, until we set up a US entity, which we likely will be doing because of everything that's going on. There will likely be an FTF US, and then we will be building that, but for the time being, you're probably gonna cut half this anyways, so that's all I got to say.